Hello?
Hello.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
We are being told that we're live, so we are going to
go ahead and assume we are live.
Assume that we're live.
And start talking.
Welcome to Masterclass number 2 from OpenLearning.
That's right. This is the second in the series of OpenLearning's live webinars on how to do things in OpenLearning, how to make great courses. My name's Nupur.
And I'm Nick.
We're learning designers here at OpenLearning, which is a free platform for teachers and students to use.
To create magnificent online educational experiences for each other. Now,
That's right.
I think let's just do some kind of check to see if everybody can hear us. We just need to get to the chat for a second. So,
yeah.
I'm going to...
If you're having any difficulty hearing us or any other technical difficulties, if you could just message in the chat, just let us know. There's quite a few people who've joined us, which is great.
Okay, I've been given official notice that we are on and working, so let's go for it. What we're going to do while we just wait for a few people to arrive, those less punctual than you guys, we are going to get you to go to the description underneath this video, and there is a link there that is to the course that we're going to be using in this particular masterclass. If you joined us for the first masterclass, you will already be a student in this course. The course is called Survival Basics. So go down just underneath this video, not the first link, it's the second link. The first link is the one that you'll click at the end of this masterclass when you're so inspired that you want to go off and create your own course.
That's right.
But for now, you need to go and join our course because we'll all be in the same course looking at the same thing as we go through this.
And we'll demo the stuff we're going to demo and show to you today in that course. Just in case you still don't have an account on OpenLearning, it's super quick. If you click on that link, it'll get you to first create an account. It's free. It'll take 30 seconds. So just go ahead and do it.
Yeah, so either create an account, or if you already have an account, join the course. If you have an account and you're already a member of the course, then jump on the home page and complete the Icebreaker Activity.
It's just a little fun thing to do.
It's not
together.
Just a little fun thing.
Well, we get to
the whole point of the thing. So it is a little fun thing, but it's also the whole point. There are multiple reasons why we want you to do this particular welcome activity. One is to be welcomed, but the second is that this is the kind of thing that we're showing you how to create for yourself in this webinar. We are showing you how to create interesting experiences on the platform using what we call widgets. And
that's right.
By using this doing this activity, you're actually using widgets, which we're going to get to in a second. So let's go and have a look.
That's
Why
right.
don't we at the actual page?
Shall we go to the page?
I think we shall.
We shall.
So this is where we flip between us and the page. Hopefully you're seeing this.
So hopefully you see the Survival Basics homepage right now. You've got some course. All right, we just refresh the page.
There it comes again.
You've got some basic course information, and then you've got a block that says Icebreaker Activity. Now, the Icebreaker Activity on the homepage is just a great way for your students, your learners in the course, or participants to get to know each other and also kind of get comfortable in get the vibe, feel the vibe of the course that you're trying to set. This one is about survival. So this activity is actually getting students to do a little bit of, think a little bit in those terms, starting on the very first page. If you see what the activity instructions say, it says, click on the spinner below to generate a random everyday object. And then in the comments section below, introduce yourself and explain how you would use that object if you were stranded in the wilderness. Now, the spinner below refers to this little spinner It says click to spin. Shall I go ahead and spin, Nick?
Sure.
All right.
I'm excited.
To see what comes up. All right, paper clips.
Paper clips.
Your options, paper clips.
My options, paper clips.
That's right. You're the student. You're going to.
You spun it.
I spun it. Fine. Well, so what I'd need to do as a student in the course would be introduce myself in the comments section, which is here. So I'd say something like, "Hi everyone, I am Nupur. My option was paper clips. If I was, say, stranded on a deserted island." Spelling's all. I'd use paper clips to
hunt.
No, not to hunt, but to maybe make shelter. Well, I suppose, I don't know, clip leaves together.
To make a shelter.
To form
like
a
mortar.
Shelter over my head.
So I'd have no shelter and you'd have no food, but we'd both have paper clips.
That's right.
Okay, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit more to this screen, just
cool. Maybe we can
finding out when this is at its optimal point so you guys can see what's going on here. Okay, so you can see there that an activity has been created. All we needed was this little spinner and a little bit of introduction for what students should do on the basis of the information they were given by that spinner to complete a little activity, an icebreaker activity at the bottom. And of course, then people will go on then and say, hey, that's a good idea. I'd clip leaves together, maybe what they would do with the different items instead. So we want you guys for 1 minute or so to complete this activity, please, and then we will launch the webinar proper after everybody's done that. So we'll just need to refresh the page to see if you guys have
Anyone's
jumped in
hopped
there.
on.
There we go.
Oh, fantastic. There's Dr. Irvin Martinez, Fowler. Your options, garbage bags as one of the options to make a shelter. Garbage bags, great shelter. Plastic, no rains getting through, great idea.
My question, Erwin, is how are you going to clip your plastic garbage bags together if you don't have any paper clips?
That's right, paper clips is so important. Tube of lip balm, I might be dead meat.
Yeah.
Well, you know, lip balms are great. They act like grease and they can keep your lips moisturized if you're stranded in a scenario of an avalanche or something.
Sure, that's a hard one.
Yeah, it is. It is.
You could trade it for something better.
All right. Hi, I'm Ung. My object is frisbee. You'll be using frisbee to knock fruits off trees. That is brilliant. I would say that's a brilliant idea. Knock fruits off trees.
Knock your coconuts off the trees, that kind of thing. You would have a lot of time to become a pretty good thrower, I think, of the frisbee. So
that is true. Tap water or other liquid to attach various objects to one another, i.e. to set up some sort of shelter.
Oh, okay. So I don't think we know what Charles's object is, but perhaps that was garbage bags as well. So to trap or tap the water or liquid.
I think one of the options must be.
I think see the thing about this course is that there are everybody learned how to survive so well last time that they're all just experts now.
Maybe. So that's great. So you see, by doing the activity yourself, how easy it is to just give it a spin and write a comment. It'll be great if you guys can try replying to each other and starting a conversation. Because if you kind of do that as teachers in your own course, that'll be setting a great example for your students. To keep that vibe alive in the rest of the course. And
that's where students get engaged, when they know that somebody's going to be reading what they're saying. They're not just submitting an answer to a sort of a black hole where at the end of a semester where they're never going to get some sort of feedback from other peers and their facilitators and teachers. So it's great to set that right at the beginning of the course. And so you can do that through a simple icebreaker such as this. And as you can see, we set it up. It took a couple of minutes max to
Yeah.
set it up. And what we're going to do in this webinar is show you how you can do that. So now that we've learned that everybody who got lip balm is in trouble, and everybody who got garbage bags is going to have lots of
Also
water,
Frisbees.
and so maybe let's move on to the webinar proper. Introduce our topic. So this week the topic. So do you want to go back to the homepage? Okay. So this week our topic is how to create engaging activities, how to engage your students using the widgets on OpenLearning.
Now, with your invite to the webinar, we're sure you would have received a widget guide. I'm gonna open that widget guide up for you, and we'll kind of
You should have received about 1 hour ago or so, just before this webinar started, you will have received an email with this widget guide in there.
All right, I'm gonna try and switch my screen to yes, there we go. All right.
Magic.
This is the widget guide that you may have received. You may have looked at it and gone, wow, that is a beautiful widget guide. Or you may have gone, what even is all of that?
Or both.
Or both.
It's a beautiful but confusing thing, but don't worry. We're going to explain all of these things today, and we're going to show you how to use a bunch of them, and by the end you'll be confident enough to jump in and use them all for yourself. Can we just go quickly to the other graphic that we have? This is, for those of you who joined us on our first masterclass, we introduced some of the ideas about the way that OpenLearning as a platform is organized. It's very important for you to be able to understand just the basics of this, so you understand where widgets come in, what they are, and what level they are on the platform, where they exist. Okay,
yes.
So you can see this. This is basically the hierarchy.
Yes.
A course is the biggest thing. Okay, so that's
right.
Everything. So our survival basics course, the course is the whole thing, which we break down, as we discussed last week or last time, into modules. So
your modules would be sequential flows of your topics, really, which would contain pages. Nikki had a great analogy last time of that of a house. Maybe you could take us through that again. So if the course was a house,
I thought it was a book.
It is a book and it is a house. So it's like if okay, I think the house is a confusing one.
Yeah, I think the course is a book. That's the whole thing. Modules are your chapters, and pages are the pages within the chapters. So what are these little purple things that put together create a page? Well, I think you know the answer. These are widgets.
These are the widgets.
Okay, these are your widgets. Widget as a word essentially is used in computer engineering and mechanical engineering as just a little small machine that does one particular thing. So basically, to create your page, you need to build it up through the use of a few widgets. And you would have seen that very briefly last time. By the way, I keep referring to last time, the previous webinar. If you haven't seen that, don't worry, keep watching this and then watch the first one afterwards.
That's
and
right.
Then
we'll share the link for the first one afterwards, and we'll also take you through the back end of a page and what the widgets look like just in a short bit. So now that we've gone through the course map,
let's take a look at, let's go back to this beautiful widget guide.
That's right, which is
here
simply
we are again.
Stunning. Okay. Back to this widget guide. What you see at first glance is these are basically supposed to represent courses and student interaction within the courses, and the roots, the fundamentals of your learning delivery really is widgets. Most online courses you may have taken or you may have taught in your experience, I'm sure you would agree, consist of, they kind of lie between these two ones, content delivery plus corrective experience. They would contain videos, readings, files to go through and download, and they would kind of follow those up with fill in the blanks and quizzes, which are great, but they don't really result in engaged learning experiences, which is what we're all about, which is what we really, really recommend in our courses.
So a corrective experience is basically your traditional kind of high school learning experience where you learn about something and then you do a quiz or some sort of test, and then you're told, yes, you did this bit right, no, you did this bit wrong.
That's right.
There's certainly a time and a place for those things. We're not necessarily saying that these things shouldn't be used, but
Yes.
we're saying that if you're thinking outside of that
Yes.
box, that's always a
That's
positive.
right. And in fact, you can do all of that on OpenLearning. You can supplement your course with crosswords and quizzes and fill in the blanks, and they can be a lot of fun. It's just that we recommend a lot more to create engaged learning experiences.
So when you're talking about a lot more,
yes,
what are we talking about?
we're talking about interactive, collaborative widgets, which are, it's a very in-your-face orange color right here that you see.
I like it.
We're just growing the roots down, and providing more to the roots results in a richer, more growing plant here.
And eventually, some lovely little orange berries.
Fruits,
So if we scroll down on this widget key, the orange ones are what we call share widgets, and we're going to use a few of these in practice in a minute. Obviously, that'll be the bulk of this masterclass, but we're just going over some of them very quickly so you can get an idea. Our share widgets are our favorite. Okay, they consist of places where students can post something that gets shared to the entire course through a gallery. So they can either share text, images, a file, a combination of all the above, videos, and then you can do all sorts of other things like basing other activities on student-created galleries, peer review, all those wonderful buzzwords that progressive educators are always talking about. These are the building blocks.
Actually how to do it. It's not just talking about it, but you can use these actual tools to put those buzzwords to practice.
Okay, let's look at the one little pink widget here.
The random selector.
The random selector, which is my personal favorite widget.
Which is the one you just used when you spun a random object.
Yeah, so you've just used the random selector
as
widget,
well as the comment thread that you followed up with.
So that's how we created that activity through the use of those two widgets. Now, let's go back to the course and look at how those widgets are set up to create that activity. How do you actually, where do you click, what do you do to set up that activity with those widgets? Now,
all right. Now that we're back on the course, you've seen the front end. You've seen what the page looks like to you as a user, as a learner. If you're the admin of a course, whichever course that you create, you will be presented with options on the top bar here. The edit one is where you go to see that the page actually consists of little blocks.
And those little icons look slightly familiar.
They do.
Because we just saw them in the widget guide.
Each of these, that means, is a widget. And I mean, if we really need to simplify, a widget would then be the building block of a page.
Yeah.
And they can be all sorts. It's not one kind of block, it's many kinds of blocks together. And the more kinds you have, the more of a richer learning experience that you can provide to your students.
So up the top there, you can see we just have that icon means a text widget. So you would just put that in. They're probably the most common, in fact, definitely the most common widget for housing content.
Yes.
When you drag and drop a text widget, as we'll see a bit later, it's essentially like a sort of Word document is created, and you can create text, you can format it, you can insert images, all that kind of thing. There have been 3 created up the top of this page because whoever created the page wanted to put 2 bits of text side by side. And they decided that was the kind of thing that they wanted to do. So
that's the sort of thing you can do under layout, which we'll also get into once
we'll look into later as well.
After that, we've got more of a text widget. This is a highly formatted, not a highly formatted, it's easy to format, but it's a text widget with more formatting than the previous ones. It's got a
few images, icon images, and a beautiful image of someone starting a fire there.
That's right, to survive.
A little bit of advertising as well in there for the jacket company.
Yeah.
We're getting paid plenty for that, of course. No, not really.
That's right. Coming on to the random everyday object generator, which is what I've called the random spinner. If I click to edit this is what it looks like to the teacher, the facilitator, or the course admin, whoever's setting it up. So you basically get the option of titling it something, getting the label to say whatever you want, and adding your choices. And you may recognize these choices from the comments and from the one that you got when you spun the spinner. Dental floss, frisbee, garbage bags.
Yeah, can of tuna.
Can of tuna. Nobody had can of tuna. I really wanted to see what people would do with that.
Personally, I would eat it.
Just a can of tuna? That's extreme.
Or maybe use it as bait to catch a larger tuna.
Yeah, see, now you're thinking.
The tuna eat tuna? Anyway, that's not the point. So the point is that you can see, you saw it from the student view, and then you've now seen it from the course administrator's view. You use this widget, set up your choices, your options, and then from a very basic combination of 2 widgets, a text widget instructing students how to use what to do.
Yes.
And then the spinner widget, which has given people a random object, and then the comment section, which is at the bottom of every page. Note that the comment section is not a widget. That is there at the bottom of every page.
Yes.
You can't get rid of it, nor should you want. Oh, you can?
Yes, you can disable comments if you absolutely have to. But I mean, why would you want to? It's great to talk to people. It's great to.
And if someone has an opinion about something, then why not? Why would we not want to hear that? So,
absolutely.
But using the comment section is as a place for people to respond to activities and questions is a really good way of doing it. There are other ways of doing it, which we will go on to show you right about now, I think.
That's right. All right. Shall we go to a page? Shall we look at one of the other pages?
Sure.
And then let's go to survive in the desert. All right, these comments are from the last webinar. Let's look at this page. It looks like it's got 1 text widget.
Let's take a slightly closer look at the text widget here, because this is the one you're going to be using the most. And in order to for your course to look a bit more slick, then knowing how to use some of the formatting options in the text widget is really important. For those of you who are experienced using Microsoft Word and other word processors, you're halfway there.
That's
probably
right.
More.
It's very simple to use. It's got all of these options up at the top. We'll just let's just look at a few of them.
Let's go through them quickly.
Say I want to put my information in the text box. All I need to do is just type. Say if I want to highlight it, I might just go ahead and put that into something called a container box, which is what the activity on the homepage was in.
It looks really nice.
Yeah, so this is how you can.
How did you make that top text really big?
Good question. I select my text and go up here where it says headings, and I've got a few of them to choose from. The body one is the original body text, and you can make it as big as you like.
So there's no font size option like your 12.14 font. There's just the 4 different sizes of heading and body text. Like anybody who's familiar with a bit of web design stuff, that's usually how it operates.
That's right. If you did need to add like a little note This is a note.
Yep. Note.
This is a note. You could go in and say make it
So many options.
a really small text. So these are all the options that you can go ahead and play around with under.
Of course, you've got your bold, your italic, your underline, your all of those things. We're not going to go too much into that because that's fairly
simple.
Obvious.
Yeah.
What if we want to create a link? So what if the note page? We want the note page to link to say another website somewhere.
Yes, good question. Say you're a presenter and you want to share a really cool article with your students. You could say something like, check out this article. And I'm going to highlight this article and go here to insert/edit link. This is where you'd hyperlink. Add the URL, make sure your article, your text is the right text. Choose the style. I like to go with an underlined style.
Nice.
Et voila. Here's a hyperlink. When your students hover over this, they can click on it and it'll take them to the...
And that will open up a new page. It won't take them away from this page.
Yes, that's right. That's
okay.
key, I feel.
What if I wanted to put an article on the page?
Yeah, you could do that too.
Not link away from it.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Let's try and do that with insert/edit media.
Right.
Now media, I can add, it says here supports YouTube, Google, Yahoo, social networks, and a lot of content providers. So
250 to be precise.
I think, yeah,
Over
I know, that's a specific number. We have a specific number. I'm just going to copy paste my URL link. I can decide my dimensions here or just go with full width, which is what you would usually. In this view, you can't really see it. You'd need to click here, finish editing, and then wait a second for it to load up.
Oh, wow.
Look at that. How to thrive in the bush.
Okay, so it's created a whole, a rich sort of preview that has images, the headline.
And the website's own metadata, their description link, and if you click on it, it takes you to the actual article, which is a great article.
Again, and it opens up in another tab.
Yeah, that's right.
So we could, instead of just having a list of these things, we could have perhaps this article on the page, displayed like this, and then an activity underneath that article, which maybe has a spinner of 5 different things that are mentioned in the article, or you could have 5 different questions for people to respond to.
That's right.
Based on the article, then they spin the article, and then in the comment section discuss it with each other. I think that's so much better than just saying, here, read this article, because and then what? Exactly.
I really like to, in my courses that I design, present articles or videos and then follow them up with activities where participants can discuss, reflect upon what they read or saw. So that's one thing you can do.
Right. It's looking pretty good so quickly.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, if you see there are 2 ways to actually link the article. There's the hyperlinking way, or there's the embedding way. It's the same article, but this one's so much richer. It looks great. I really want to click on it and see what it's all about.
Okay, so let's look at some of the other widgets. Let's look at, say, some of those corrective ones that we were talking about. The ones that we said were good to use, but maybe not necessarily all the time, or just so if we did want to do a quiz, a multiple choice quiz, is there a way we can set them up in OpenLearning?
All right, let me make this a quiz page. There is certainly a way. Right, so under this section where you actually see all your widgets, you can select the quiz bit, where you see all your quiz widgets.
Right.
And you've got a host of them to choose from. You've got category matching, crossword puzzle, fill in the blanks, matches, multiple choice, short answers. All right, let's try my favorite's the crossword, but I think the more common
Just before you do that, how do you actually get these widgets onto your page?
Did we not do that yet? Okay, awesome. The way to do that would be to just click.
Right.
And voila.
So you just click on the widget and it's
That's
added
right.
to everything else underneath.
It does. And just in case you didn't want a widget to appear at the bottom, say you wanted to go at the top or between these two widgets, just click on that and drag to wherever you want it to be, really.
Right. Well, let's put our multiple choice widget at the top of the page.
All right.
Because we had a good idea about how we would use these.
Click to edit. And here's your multiple choice setting options. You've got the question text bit here, where you can add a question.
Yep. Pick the other one out.
Only one answer using radio buttons, or multiple answer using checkboxes. And then your options here, really. You can even add images in the multiple choice. Make it I guess, a more interesting multiple choice.
Yeah. One good way of using multiple choice quizzes that we like to use that we're not necessarily going to set up here is a form of diagnostic multiple choice quizzing. So I don't know if going through watching multiple videos, trying to remember factual information, and then doing a multiple choice quiz at the end of your course, and then probably forgetting all of that pretty quickly. I don't know if that's a really effective way of doing it. But if you're coming into a particular topic and you're looking to work out which level you're at within that topic. So for example, if I'm trying to learn French and I've done a little bit of French before, if you're setting that up within a course and you have maybe different levels of how advanced your French course is, you could set up a number of different quizzes that help students diagnose what level of French they're up to, because they might find the first couple of quizzes really easy, and then they get to one that's really challenging for them, and then you can say, okay, you're probably looking at level 2B or something.
That's right. And then that's where they can start learning. Yeah,
so that's called a formative test or formative assessment, because it's helping them do learning in a better, more efficient way. Whereas a summative assessment is after you've read this French textbook, we're going to give you a quiz about it, and if you fail, then oh well, do it again.
That's right. So that's a great idea. Diagnostic quizzes are great, and if they're the right fit for your course, please go ahead and use them. In this little multiple choice quiz widget, I've added the question text. I've let students select only one answer. Selecting the option here is me pointing out to the system that this is the correct answer.
Are you sure?
Let me think again. Message displayed when correct or when incorrect, that's up to you. You can even say if it's a particularly difficult question like this one, you can provide a hint. And that's it, voila, and finish editing. Your question's ready.
Okay, back to the top of the page. So to do this quiz, we need to go into view mode. So this is something to note, that if you're setting up your own widgets and pages as a course creator, edit mode and view mode operate differently. And once you've set things up, and if you want to look at it or test it from the perspective of a student, you need to click on view mode to get your widgets into the sort of completed version. There's no student view and teacher view in OpenLearning. View mode in the administrator view is essentially student view.
And it's a great idea once you set up your course, once you set up quizzes or any kinds of widgets in your course, to go into the view mode and do the thing. It's like doing a test run.
Can I do the quiz?
You can do the quiz.
So there was only one answer allowed, wasn't there? So I just want to, we'll get it right. So we want to check our answer. Well, great answer. Okay. And
great stuff. It was as simple as that.
As simple as that. Now, here's another interesting one, a crossword. I don't think we're going to set this up completely.
We do have some
that's right. So
dummy ones set up.
So we've got a dummy one. Basically, if you look at it, create your own course, drop in a crossword widget, and then look at the way this is all set up. It's fairly straightforward.
Generate crossword, and if you scroll down a bit, you can see the preview of what your crossword will look like with across and downs, the actual thing.
The hints and where the words
the hints.
go.
You can call your crossword a title. You can give it a title. Message your feedback messages, the usual. It's quite add words here.
Yep.
Delete them from here.
Easy.
Easy peasy. And if I go into the view mode, I can see what the crossword actually looks like. It looks pretty nifty, doesn't it?
That is pretty nifty for how easy it was to set up. Okay, so let's do one. Amphibian, usually green, number 1.
Oh my God, newt, chameleon, frog. Found in Africa, bony horns. Rhino.
Okay.
Wolf said the doggo. Has a trunk. Oh my God, I know all of these answers. All right. A rat likes cheese, a cat meows, and a green jumping insect. Starts with a G. Wait, is it grasshopper?
Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on. We obviously need to do a little more study here. That's all right. If you guys can finish off the crossword in your own version of the course, then
that is right. If you're able to get all of them right, please send us a screenshot because apparently I didn't know all the answers. I'd love to know. Okay,
and here's another version. Once again, we're not going to go too far in depth of setting it up because that's not the best use of our time here, but we just dropped in. So if I go back into edit mode, this was the category matching.
Yeah.
Okay, down here, back into view mode, and we obviously have, this is the default version, which will be set up for you, but you could change it.
You can change all the text in there.
We could change this
categories.
To categories. Could be, what would you, if you're in a different survival situation, what things would you use, for example, what would you take to different places?
That's right. Or even like poisonous plants versus non-poisonous plants, and students might need to categorize.
Yeah, all that kind of thing.
Yeah,
and then a great idea again is to, once you've set up this little activity with this widget, you can then go on and create another activity below where students can do something else based on their experience completing this activity, and then you can go on and do another activity that's a bit more social, where maybe students discuss their experience, filling out the crossword or whatever else, what they couldn't get, help each other get the little aspects that they didn't get. So don't think that it just has to be widget after widget after widget.
That's right.
Drop in a text widget and write some text, contextualize things for your particular students in their exact situations. But these are basically pre-created great little activities for people to be doing.
Speaking of social activities, shall we go on to move on to those, which
Absolutely.
are
those
so
orange
more
wonderful ones that we talked about.
I'm going to use a fresh page. Let me go and create a page, and that can be a nice little recap of how to set up a page under course setup and content.
Yep.
Let's say social learning. Oh, no, never mind. Let me give it a more relevant one.
While we're
surviving together.
While we're talking about being social, by the way, we're going to be answering some questions pretty soon. After we do this page, we're going to go to answering your questions. So please put them into the chat. There's a chat going on as we speak next to the video on YouTube. So if you haven't seen the chat, then jump in there, get involved, send us some questions now, and then we'll try and answer as many of them as we can before the end of the masterclass at 6 o'clock is when we're going to log off Sydney time, 6 o'clock. So you've got about 5 minutes to send us all your questions.
That's a bit harsh, isn't it?
Yeah,
5 minutes.
Clock is ticking.
Oh my God, the clock's ticking. All right, let's go in and actually create some social learning experiences, which is what this webinar is mainly about. So what is a social learning experience exactly, Nick? What would you say?
A social learning experience is one in which there are multiple perspectives, one in which the knowledge that or skill that you're trying to gain is sort of negotiated between a group of people. It is an experience in which everybody needs to be a little bit flexible about their own perspective. It's one in which there is a lot of empathy involved. So empathy, you need to think from other people's perspectives, take in what other people are saying, and most importantly, and probably most practically, a social learning experience is one that you do with other people. So
and also learning from each other.
Exactly, learning like so. There have to be other people involved. Watching YouTube. Oh, well, I guess if someone else, okay, that's a bad example. YouTube is a kind of a social thing because people chat and comment and create videos for each other.
But watching videos, which is a very passive
or reading a textbook, sitting by
is
yourself under a tree.
Which is fun, but in the scenario of an online course, the idea is to not have learning experiences that are isolated. So while it's great to have videos and texts and PDFs in there, you need to kind of follow them up with social learning experiences so that the entire experience is not isolated, and so that a learning community, so to say, is formed in your course and students want to keep coming back. I think enough of talking about what it is. Let's try and do one. Let's try and create one. What I'm going to do is create a little block where I'll say, share your survival stories in the space provided below. Right, I provided an instruction. I provided a little bit of an activity text. And now I'm going to go to these orange share widgets, which were the key ones, which are what's going to get your course tree fruiting some orange berries. Clicking on the post file widget brings this magnificent little block which says, oh, I got the file one. Let me just remove that or get the post text one. All right. This bit, if I click on it, I can see the back end of the post text interactive. Say, there's this bit and finish editing. You'll notice at the end of attached to every little post widget is this thing, and this is the gallery widget. This is the widget where all the student shares and posts of all kinds are collected into a beautiful exhibit.
Exactly. So you think of it just as a gallery, like an art gallery. All of the work that the students do in your course is put up in the gallery, and then as a student, you can walk through that gallery, see the work that each other have done, and also, depending on how you design that, moving on after that gallery, they can take what someone else has done and build on it. They can take what other people have done, join a group and work on something together. You can do all sorts of things. There are all sorts of possibilities. So
that's right.
But the key thing here and the key difference is that student creations are shared rather than submitted.
That's right.
So often
shared for all to see and learn from.
Exactly. So even things that aren't a final product, can be shared here, and that's really important. You might share a draft of something, or here's a little sketch of an idea that of something that I would like to do. Other people give you feedback and ideas, help you work on that. So this is something. It's a really powerful tool to create your learning community and get people doing that, social learning together. It's also a lot more, it gives a lot more meaning to everything that students do, because if something you've spent a lot of time on is just going to be read and marked by one tutor, perhaps in a university, and then given back to you, that's not super meaningful. If you know that something that you do is going to be looked at by every member of your cohort or your class, then that's a really great thing. And as long as the tone of the course is set right, then and the feedback is positive and there's good facilitation taking place, then this is probably the most powerful feature that this platform enables you to do.
It is a gift that keeps on giving.
It is.
It is. Let me try and demo a share for you. As a user, I would come across, as a student, I would come across the instruction, scroll down to see the space provided below, and see the cursor blinking here. I'll just start typing here. My survival story is when I got stranded on a desert island but survived. Of course, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail here, but clicking on next and adding a title here, it shows students what your post, where your post is going to go, who it is going to be visible to, and it says visible to my class. So this is a signal to me that my share, what I'm sharing right now, is going to be visible to everyone. I post my post, and it's here immediately.
In the gallery.
It's in the survival gallery. Yes. This is viewable to all of the students, all of my classmates who would come onto this page. They may scroll down to the gallery and see my story and be motivated to type up their own little story and share with the class. And slowly the gallery will fill up. If you're still in the course, if you still have the link to the course, if you still have it open, please go ahead and try using this widget. Try being a student and typing something, see what a post feels like, looks like, and we can try and fill up this gallery. It'll be a great little demo exercise. All right, let me try and refresh and see if we've got some. Well, I've got a comment, it seems. This is amazing me too. Did you? Oh,
well,
wow.
Yes.
Got so much in common. That's great.
And then if we refresh one more time on this page here and we go down, this is just, I've obviously got a different account going here. And so I've posted just then in the gallery as well with my story, which I thought was so far the most interesting story in the gallery. Yeah, okay, there we go. So we can already see the possibilities of interaction. So if you scroll down there, within that gallery, you can imagine if there were, if you had a class of 50 people, everybody's posting there in the gallery.
Yes.
And there is a wealth of information that is about the topic that was nowhere before. It wasn't in the course. It wasn't in the textbook. It wasn't in the instructor's head. It was distributed amongst the experiences of the students in the course. And now we all have access to this. Students who have those stories can interact, share their stories, and basically learn things about the topic. And that's social learning that's happening.
That's right. There. And you know what this is? It's a great hack for teachers to get students to create a pool of information or data or resources by doing their own research, coming up with their own examples, and posting in the gallery, and collecting all of that information in one spot that everybody can refer to.
Absolutely.
Like that.
So it's about using these widgets to use your time as a teacher more effectively, engage students through being interested in their own past and experiences, thoughts and ideas, and it means that you don't have to be the sole provider of understanding and knowledge.
Exactly.
You can share that role now among your students. Now the job is more about how fun and engaging can you set up your activities using these widgets, and that is the journey that never ends, really. That's
right.
That's a hugely exciting task for any educator.
That's right. Post texts are not the only post ones. You can post files, you can post videos. There are courses. Oh wait, we've got more. We got pondering how to survive with lip balm. That'll need a bit of figuring out.
It looks like a lot of people got the lip balm.
Yeah.
Something. Our spinner wasn't balanced properly or something.
It's possible. Well, it's supposed
no one
to be
got the
random.
umbrella. Anyway, if you got the umbrella, jump on the page. It's a great idea. As we're on this page, jump on the page, play around. As I said last time, don't worry about breaking things, because the best way to test things out is just
to break them. If you do break anything, get in touch with us and we'll say congratulations and thank you.
You won't be able to break anything here as a student, but if you do create your own course, just throw all the widgets on there, play around with them, come up with some ideas, and go for it. Get your students in there. So we're going to do one final thing, create one final activity. We're going to use a video widget.
All right, let's do the video widget.
Video widget.
Now the video widget is also a content delivery widget like the text widget, but there's two ways you can go about it. There's the standard way. You could copy paste a video URL, but on OpenLearning you can also
upload your own video file.
That's right. You can click to add a video and select the option to record a video.
So right on the spot.
Do that right away.
Oh wow! Look at that. And there we are.
This is so meta.
It is.
We're on a video while in a video.
In a video. I can't even think about it. But let's just start recording. So we're going to say, it gives us a countdown.
All right.
Okay.
Hello.
Your task in this activity is to comment below how you would possibly survive with nothing but unlimited supply of tubes of lip balm. And you might need to go out and get in touch with lip balm producers, get in touch with survival experts. But that's your task. So get out there and enjoy it.
And comment and like on each other's posts.
Yeah, like. Okay, so we've just done that, and you can see if we can submit this. So you can see for if you're at a university or any sort of educator, to be able to just record a quick intro video. So you might be wanting to do an intro to each week, each module, each new topic, anything like that. It's so easy just to click that button, record your quick video, and then
yes, it's quite easy to do, and it kind of puts your presence in little sections in the course. I'm not sure why this isn't uploading. It's probably uploaded, but it's not. It didn't.
That would be a bit sad.
Yeah, no.
I think we could do it better anyway. So we're going to redo it after the.
That's a good idea.
We're going to redo it after. In fact, yeah. So that's still just uploading there in the background. So that's all good. Okay, so you can now understand that that was just dragging a video widget down onto this page, and what we've done is create that sort of, you see the teacher's face, and that's really nice for students as well. Okay.
That's right.
Now, I think we're ready to answer some questions. Right. We've had a few questions coming throughout the. So let's get this back on, so you don't have to look at this anymore. One second. Once again. No. Hey, there we are.
Hello, we're back. We're here all this time, but behind the scenes.
Okay, so questions. we've got a few of them, and we've got 5 minutes to answer them. So let's jump through it.
All right.
Can I
What's
change?
the first question?
Question 1. I don't have the names. I like reading out the names of the questions. Oh well. Question 1. Can I change a course while it's running? I might want to adapt things according to various comments.
Oh, absolutely. As a course administrator, you have the view edit layout bar on top of your course all the time, not just when you're creating it. You can go ahead and make edits. You can also schedule your course such that modules that are ready are live and for students to kind of go ahead and jump in, and modules that you're still working on are scheduled for a later date, so they aren't live, and that gives you plenty of time to go ahead and polish them up, keep editing.
Absolutely, but any changes you make go live straight away. There's no draft versions or anything. The version is the version. So if you're getting feedback from students about that something should be different, you change it and it's done. So it's easy as that.
And we love that you're thinking about changing the course, adapting based on feedback.
Yeah,
great
also there are lots of analytics which we can go into maybe at another time, and you can look at that and say which activities have been really popular. What are people interested in doing? How can I do more of that? Okay, after they have finished a course or a topic, is it ideal to give certificates?
Well, yes, you can definitely set up certificates which go out to students at the end of the course when they complete a course. You can do that on OpenLearning. How to do that maybe is something we can get into at a later in another webinar.
So yes or no, but it doesn't matter too much.
Yes.
Yeah, but also that what students get out of it should be much more important than the
That's right. The entire
experience
is a lot more important.
This is a good question. Is there a preview mode to see how the student will see the pages before putting the course online?
So as Nick mentioned, the view mode is the view mode, and there's no draft mode or preview mode.
But I think there's one point before that, which is you can have your course offline while you're creating it.
Yes.
We went through it last week. You can create the whole thing with 100% certainty that nobody's going to somehow come across it online or accidentally Google it or anything.
Yes.
So it's offline, but then once you put it online, then that
is when all the changes you make will go live immediately.
Exactly.
But if you know that you still have time to work on the course, you still need time to work on the course, there's a lot of changes to be made, just keep your course offline, do all the polishing up, and then go live once you're ready.
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome.
If I run into questions while developing courses, how do I ask you how to go further?
If I run into questions, all right.
Okay. So
well, if you're in the platform, if you're in any course really, and you know the course administrators, facilitators are there in the course, for instance, if you're part of our Rethink course series, all you need to do is kind of comment on any page. That's what the comment section is there for your feedback, for your questions and thoughts, anything, anytime.
Yeah, so that's our Rethink Teaching and Learning series of courses. There's now 3 courses on there. You'll find them on the homepage, the OpenLearning homepage.
Yes.
And we'll put a link up in the chat. They're a really great place to go there. One of them is very practical about which features do what. So if you're having an issue there, go and join that community, and everybody there helps each other, and that's the best way to do it. Otherwise, the help section is very comprehensive, constantly getting updated. And
the help button is right up near your profile name. When you sign in on OpenLearning, if you click on it, you'll see a section called the Course Creator Help Guides. It's a wealth of information around how-tos for a lot of things. So go ahead and check that out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you set it so you only see the gallery after you have posted? I'm going to reinterpret that. Whereas, okay. So the question is, can a student not be able to see the gallery and then post something, and once they've posted, the gallery pops up? Yes.
Yes. That is one of the share settings that you can set up in the gallery. You can set it so that students view all the posts from everybody only once they've shared their own. This you can do in the case of activities where which are sort of borderline convergent activities where students will be sharing similar sort of responses. You can set that up so that a student has to kind of share their own before they see everybody else's responses.
Yeah, so there are a few settings in the gallery. So just go to set up a widget with a gallery and then go to the settings button, and then it's all fairly self-explanatory from there, and that certainly is one of the options that's very useful.
Yes.
Can the OpenLearning interface push changes rather than refresh?
You kind of need to refresh to see the changes pop up on your screen. Yes.
So that's a no.
Yes.
Do you use FFmpeg to encode?
FFmpeg.
FFmpeg. That sounds like to me a video.
I'm not quite sure.
Yeah,
that's something we need to. We could probably get back to you. We'll need to ask
we'll need to,
the tech team.
Maybe if anybody out there knows the answer, they could just post that in the comments section. Yeah, sorry, not sure. Is there also video chatting for more social engaging?
We actually, yes, it's been a recent development. It's the video conference widget. It's a widget which we didn't get into for the lack of time. But if you go into, or if you view all the widgets in your widget panel, you'll see a video conference one. Go ahead and give that a play. That's actually exactly what you said. It's video chatting. It is setting up an event, something close to what we're doing now. It is setting up an event with your course participants, getting everybody online at the same time, discussing, collaborating, great for group projects and so on and so forth.
The limitations there are, of course, with people's bandwidth, the same as a Skype conversation. Right. So technology probably, unless, depending on where you live, if you live in South Korea, then maybe it works. I know they have very fast internet there.
Yes.
But certainly in Australia, if you tried to do a Skype, a video conference with the 20 people in your cohort, you'd be better off posting them a letter
hard.
Or something. We have very bad internet here in Australia. So if anybody out there, if Elon Musk or anyone is out there listening and you want to come and he's sorting out our power in South Australia, so maybe you can sort out the internet as well.
Please help our internet.
Okay.
That's the message. All right.
Do you have this is a really good idea. I think we should take this one as a suggestion rather than as a question. Do you have a competition for the best courses on OpenLearning that are then published as a showcase?
Well, my counter question is, do you have a great course? Because if you do, we'd love to start with yours. We'd love to start showcasing with yours, and maybe we can make it a thing. Maybe we can make it best courses of the week. And
I think we could do that, and we could showcase one course at the beginning of each webinar.
Yeah, yes. I mean, it doesn't need to be a competition. It's more like, look who made a great course this month, and we could have a nice little showcase.
But the other part of that's not so much a competition is that if you look at if you have created courses, we do have featured courses.
Oh, that's right. You can get your courses featured on the OpenLearning homepage. So if you go to the homepage, there's a selection of courses, but that's not all the courses. There are a lot more courses in OpenLearning. It's just that we featured the very best ones to be on the homepage for obvious reasons. And if you want your one to be featured, what you need to do is write to us at support@openlearning.com and just say, can I get my course featured because I think my course is a great course? And we'll let you know how you can go about doing that.
Okay, and we've gone 3 minutes over time, but there are 3 more questions that
All right. Yeah,
I have very quick answers to.
Yes.
How can I use widgets to encourage student engagement? I think we've sort of answered that.
Isn't the title of
using
the webinar?
Yeah, that's a very good question.
Yes.
So if you're using the orange widgets, it is asking students to produce something, to create something, not just to answer a specific question. It's saying, hey, what do you think about this? So that's the answer, is that just using the share widgets in an intelligent way is that's how you can do it.
Yes, so the idea is to use the orange share widgets along with the comments thread, along with the really great positive vibe in your course, which gets students to talk to each other, discuss, reply to each other's posts. That's the engagement and the interaction that we keep on harping about.
and we're going to stop harping right now. So we
All
hope
right.
that you have enjoyed your time with us. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you
I'm just
so
looking
much
up
for
the
joining
date
us.
of next webinar. The first Tuesday in every month. So the next one will be on the 3rd of October.
3rd of October sounds like an eventful day. We'll let you know what the next webinar is about, and we'll be great to have you join us again. Those of you who joined us last time and also this time, thank you so much, and all the new people. Hope you enjoyed, learned something new, and didn't mind us rambling on too much. Yeah,
that's that. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time on the 3rd of October.
See.